Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You've got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. We are glad you joined us. In sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we got new buttons here. Got to mash my button. There we go. This is live, folks. This is live. This wouldn't work if it wasn't live. It is Wing Nation. We're glad you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here. And we're having a good time, and it's STP week. We're getting ready to go to Martinsville this week. So much good stuff. But how are you? How are
good,
things?
Very good. Enjoyed my favorite holiday, St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Did you get a little green beer in you?
Of course.
I know. That was a dumb question, wasn't it? Yeah. That was a dumb question.
How about you? How was the West Coast?
West Coast was great. You know, California Auto Club Speedway was a blast. I didn't realize this, okay? And we had the 5-wide salute.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the Cup race. And during the weekend, I actually was able to host a 5-wide question and answer session with Kyle Larson, Clint Boyer, Dave Blaney, and Damian the Demon Gardner.
Yeah.
That's the first time I met him.
Yeah, he's a neat guy.
Man, he's a great guy. But the topic was short track racing, and particularly Saturday night racing.
Yeah.
With these guys, it turned out to be Saturday night dirt track racing. But that's what it was. And I didn't realize it, but Dave Allen, and I was talking to him, I said, where did your, he had talked to me about short track racing in the past, but I'd never inquired. He's a Northern California guy. He worked on a team that pitted right next to the Kadings for years and years and years.
That explains it.
Yeah. In fact, Brent Kading was his special guest at the track. And I said, and Brent will be on MAV TV this weekend. And I said to Brent, he said, yeah, Dave's just a really good friend. And he invited me down just to spend the weekend down here.
Neat.
So, so it was fun. It was fun. The 5-wide salute, the 5-wide tribute, getting to hang out with Dave Blaney. Yeah, anytime you get to hang with Dave Blaney, I mean, my gosh.
Yes.
It's like, so really, really cool. So I really enjoyed, I love when the NASCAR world, we're at a really good spot. The NASCAR world now seems to be informally, it has embraced sprint car racing and dirt track racing. Now with some things going on at the top level of the sport, now just across the board, it's like, what do we need to do? Let's make sure that all the water levels are higher.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I think it's great, too, even what Kevin Harvick has done to try to help the pavement short track racing. I think all around it's great.
Yeah, I know. We talk so much about Tony and Kyle and Ricky and Casey and our guys, but when you look at what Kevin does, when you look at what Kyle Busch does, I mean, it's amazing what he does in the late model world, the super late model world on the asphalt side. So, yeah, lots of really good stuff there along the way and fun stuff along the way. So, good times, that's for sure. Hey, time to look at our classic ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. Okay, how about Lucas Wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah, picked up his second win of the young season in Pennsylvania, 20th career Williams Grove win, and second straight opener win. Of course, he won Lincoln last week. We had him on the show. So, Lucas is off to a good start. And World of Outlaws, 7 races, 6 winners. Friday night, it was Carson Macedo. Carson's going to join us. We're also going to be joined by Danny Dietrich on the program. Carson Macedo picked up the win at Silver Dollar. And I know, spent a little time, as I talked about, with the 5-wide salute with Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
And, you put a new combination together. You have your fingers crossed. You got a new crew chief with Joe Gertie over there working on it. This thing on paper, right here, it says this should work. But it's got to be good, and Kyle talked about it's really good when it works in person on the track. And Carson Macedo got that first win for Kyle Larson.
I mean, it took him all of 6 races.
I know, stay tuned.
Taking him a long time to gel.
Like I said, but there are times in our sport where everything on paper does not add up down the racetrack.
Absolutely.
And so it's good to have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, and then to park it on the front stretch. That's the exclamation point. Carson Macedo, this is a great combination.
Oh,
it really is. And on Saturday night, Logan Schuchart picked up the win. Great battle with Brad Sweet and some great racing. Had the Cowboy up on that racetrack.
Both of those racetracks.
Yeah. That was California Cowboy racing right there.
Those sore arms after those races.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I imagine the guys are a little bit, I'll be interested when we talk to Carson to see, he's a youngster, he's a kid. It probably didn't even faze him. But
not that he'll tell us.
Not that he'll tell us, exactly. So we'll chat with him and Danny in just a little bit. So great stuff, that is for sure. Classic Ink Screen Printing Embroidery Hot Topics, www.classicinkusa.com. That's classicinkusa.com. If you're looking for hats or towels or shirts or sweatshirts or whatever it is, even for a church team, for a business. I mean, we talk about them on the Sprint Car World, and they do our Wing Nation gear, but they are available everywhere along the way. So great stuff from our friends at Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery. Hey, it's time now. We talked about Carson Macedo picking up that win. Okay, it was Friday night. It was Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California. Here's Dirt Vision with Johnny Gibson. It's Brad Sweet, Ian Madsen, and Carson Macedo. Carson ended up getting the big win. It is our Dryden Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week.
And now for the Dryden Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Battle for the lead into turn one. Slider by Carson Macedo. He and Brad Sweet both bicycle, and Ian Madsen leads down the backstretch. Here's Macedo around the outside of Madsen. Madsen to the inside, slides up the banking, but Carson Macedo will lead lap number 21.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
For over 50 years, drivers in Sprint Car, Midget, Micro, Modified, and even Dirt Late Model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
O'Reilly. Clean motor oil keeps your engine running at peak performance. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic Motor Oil for $28.95. Plus, get a $15 O'Reilly gift card and double O Rewards points. Extend the life of your vehicle with O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm David Grau, and you're listening to Wing Nation.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. We're glad you joined us here on Wing Nation today, and we're going to talk to a big race winner this past weekend. It was a last lap pass, by the way, as Danny Dietrich swung around, turn number 1 and 2 at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway, and Danny joins us on the line now. Hello, Danny. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing? I mean, you won a race. You got a couple second place finishes. How do you feel? 3 races into Pennsylvania. How do you feel about where you're at?
Really good. We've had a lot of speed and consistency. We've had luck with the pill draw so far. So that's something we haven't had in a few years. So it seems like, but it feels good to have speed every time we're on the racetrack.
Danny, talk about the win at Lincoln. The track seemed to be pretty good conditions, seeing that it's so early in the season. And in that last lap slider, it looked like, a few laps to go, you kind of lost some momentum, and then you gained it, pulled off the slider. Talk about those closing laps.
We were getting really good. The car was really getting better as the race went on, and it seemed like Anthony, he was getting pretty tight in 3 and 4, where I was able to really make some time up. And I wasn't too concerned in 1 and 2. I kind of fudged up the last 2 laps, or with a lap, 2 laps to go there in 1 and 2. But it wasn't my concern there. As long as I just got a good run through 3 and 4, I could really carry some speed, off a 4 down the front stretch. And prior to all that, I tried and pulled a slider on him in 1 and 2 before, just trying to figure out what my car would do going through the corner there in that circumstance, so that way I could line something up later on.
Yeah, no doubt it is. It takes it takes some effort to do that. That's for sure. Danny, you talked about how you have good speed and you have consistent speed. One of the things you and I've talked about this before. We talk about it on those occasions when you go to Volusia. That never seems to work out for you as far as results there at Volusia. But getting those races down south, are they part of what has allowed you to jumpstart the season and get off to such a good start in Pennsylvania?
As much as it beats you up down there, I think it's good to knock the rust off, and when you got a new crew member or 2 new crew members, whatever, I think it's good to get down there and just to be around the race car and around the trailer and get to gelling again. So, I think there's a big advantage to going down, and even though you might be slow like we were, just going down and getting the dust knocked off, the rust knocked off, and just getting back in the swing of things really helps when you get back here racing in full swing.
Danny, you mentioned something on Twitter about the tall cage Maxim, the new one, and you said it was working really well. You've run them for a while now, but what are maybe some of the changes on the new version of the chassis?
Just it's a taller car from everybody's standard wedge cage car. Ours is 2 inches taller front and rear, so it's technically a 4-inch taller car. And we tried it in 2016 and didn't quite have the luck we wanted with it. We were trying to put a 15-degree seat in the car, trying to lay us back, lay me back a little bit, and thinking that had to be a little safer. And it just didn't work out the way we wanted it to. It wasn't as comfortable in the car where this car here, it's focused on a 10-degree seat, and to be honest with you, I can't tell that I'm in a different car. The only thing I had to do to help myself out was put a sun visor on just to get my visual points back to normal.
Wow, that's fascinating. That really is. And, and the reality of it is that you bigger guys, what is the process? You talked about going with it in 2016, then turning back and working. And, of course, you work with Ron and the guys out at Maxim all the time. How much back and forth from 2016 to the present was there? Was there a, hey, should we try this? How does that work?
Well, it kind of, it was probably disappointing in me because we were so gung-ho on it in 2016, we had 2 of them cars built, and, one of them I don't think I ever even raced, and we were just struggling with the one, and then, we crashed it, and the car, we weren't running real well, so the car wanted to go back to the standard car, and we went back to it and ran that season, and still didn't have the best season, and then, 17 was pretty good, 2018 was pretty good, so we thought, well, we'll get to the end of 18, and then we'll break a new one out and try and do some things a little bit different from what we learned with the other one that we struggled with. And we have no complaints. I mean, we were slower in Florida, but Florida is the only time this car's been outside the top 10 or outside the top 7, actually.
Well, it certainly seems to be working well now. Danny, switching topics a little bit, you also had something on social media about earlier start times, how important it is, you think, for the kids to have a chance to come down in the pits afterwards. Tell us a little bit more about your thoughts on that.
I think it's important. Around here, in Pennsylvania, we seem to start later than anywhere else in the country, and it's something I've been after for a couple of years. I understand that tracks need the fans to maybe get off work on a Friday, but when it comes to a Saturday show, there's no reason why we can't start a little sooner. The All-Stars do it, the Outlaws do it. We're pushing it back so far that the kids are falling asleep in the grandstands, and they're not getting into the pit area to meet the drivers after the races are over.
Erin and I were talking before the race. We're going to steal a little time of your interview here. Erin and I were talking in the race. We both grew up going to the racetracks, and we both remember countless times where our parents took us down to the pits after the race. I mean, I remember that. That's how Pete Cordes became my hero, is going to the pits after the race. It's absolutely amazing. I saw some pictures of you. How, Danny, does it ever get old when a little kid comes up and just idolizes you and wants to get a picture?
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all. It's just it makes it convenient when it's after the races. We got some racetracks that want to do some stuff with kids, but they want to do it before the races, or they want to do it between heat races and features. And to be honest with you, we a guy like myself who's hands on, from the time you show up the track, you just don't have that kind of time. And it's not to sound rude that we don't want to take the time to see someone, but it's our job to perform as well. But if we could get done early and hand out, little hero cards or autograph cards and sign them, and we don't mind hanging out, and the guys can relax and just kind of reflect on the night, and I'm sure there's nights where you'll have a bad night, you'll want to load up and get the heck out of there, but that's part of racing too. So I just think that if they started earlier, maybe run a support division feature first, where the 410 guys can literally come, the kids can come right from the grandstands and run right down into the pit area and see their favorite drivers still in uniform. I think that's great for all of racing, whether it's sprint car racing or another form.
Yeah. I think an early night is a win-win for the racers and for the fans, for everybody. Danny, I see you got Lincoln and Williams Grove on tap for the weekend. What are some other races you might have highlighted on the schedule coming up?
Well, I think we're just going to stick around Lincoln until the All-Stars come to town here the second weekend of April. Lincoln and the Grove, before that. Then we'll venture down to Virginia Motor Speedway. And, then Virginia Motor Speedway, then the Grove, then Port Royal and Bridgeport. So that weekend there, we'll see 3 new tracks on the season and, get rolling at them tracks that we haven't seen yet. And after that, before you know it, we'll have the Electric Memorial coming up.
Yeah, boy, no doubt. Be here quickly, that's for sure. Danny, always a pleasure. Congratulations on getting that win on Saturday at Lincoln. I know there'll be more to come down the road, and we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us here today.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
There we go. That is Danny Dietrich. I want to follow on that, the topic of getting done early. And I've shared this story before, and I've shared it with Rex Lejeune up at Attica. Attica is a track that they do a great job. Yeah. By the way, they open this Friday, as a matter of fact. I went to Attica from Michigan. It was a Saturday night race. It was in August when Sandusky County Fair is going on, so Fremont is closed. Attica jumps over to Saturday.
Yep.
Okay. I went there. They run the 410s first. Okay. I like Danny's idea of the 410s last, so the drivers are still in the pits. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that, and I understand that. I walked out. I was headed back to Michigan, about a 2-hour drive. Okay. It was like 9:15, and I'm walking out of that racetrack, and I'm walking with a mom, a dad, and 2 kids. Kids, obviously, at 9:15 on Saturday night wanted to stay. Dad probably wanted to stay. Mom wanted to go home. I'm following along with them, and I hear this conversation. Mom, why can't we stay? Why can't we stay? And Mom said, Mom said, we've got to go home. You've got to get baths. You got to get up because we got to go to church tomorrow. And then she said the phrase that pays, we'll come back next week.
Yeah.
Okay. That mom carrying 2 sleeping kids out of there at 11:15 is not coming back next week, okay? And face it, we all know mama runs the ship in most cases like that, okay? The reality of it is that early departure time, that wins for everybody.
Absolutely. And even the crew guys, I mean, they're like, you think of anyone on tour, they got to go to the car wash, and you're not eating till sometimes 2, 3 in the morning. Right. I mean, it's, like you said, it's a win for everybody.
Old guy I worked with, Seward Rice at Penkin. We'll get the break here in a little bit and get continuing on, but we're this early departure time. He said, when you get done, he said, there's so many fans that want to go to the racetrack. There's the kind that want to go to the pits and party with their driver, meet their drivers.
Yep.
There's the kind that want to go to the pits or go out to party, okay, and to go out and have a few beers. There's the time that wants to grab a bite to eat. There's a person that wants to grab a bite to eat. There's the guy that has to go home and has to work or has a honey-do list tomorrow or has church the next morning. You're done at 10 o'clock, and every one of those group of people wins.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all going to come back again next week.
Yeah.
So kudos to Danny for actually Casey Kane and I think Jacob Allen had some things on social media as well about that. I know Casey signed a bunch of autographs out at Stockton on Saturday night because they were done early too. So I like the idea. I understand sunshine, especially in the summertime. I understand sunshine and dry racetracks. So I think there's a balancing act here. But I love that we're having this conversation because I remember the first kiddie ride I went in Wally Locke's car, and I remember going down the pits and becoming a fan for life of Pete Cordes, and it's because of having that access to the drivers. So let's. I love that we're having this discussion. Let's step away right now. When we come back, young Carson Macedo, he joins us after his first win with Kyle Larson Racing last Friday night.
The Win a Z06 Corvette.com sweepstakes to benefit the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is underway. Go to winaz06 Corvette.com to find out how you can win the Torch Red 2019 Z06 Corvette that is on display now in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. The winner will be announced Saturday night, August 10th during the 59th Annual Knoxville Nationals. Visit winaz06 Corvette.com to win this awesome ride.
Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Hi, I'm Donnie Schatz, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Thanks, Donnie. Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Let's go right back to the hotline. Joining us fresh off from a trip to Victory Lane on Friday night. First win for Kyle Larson Racing. Carson Macedo's on the line. Hello, Carson. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I am doing well, Carson. Erin and I talked about this a little bit. This is great. You've got Kyle Larson as the owner. You got Joe Gertie, your crew chief that you've had success with. They've got you behind the wheel of the race car. You got great crews. You got great parts. You got great pieces. It all looks good on paper. How important, though, was it for you to get a win early in the season to put an exclamation point on what all looks good? How important was that win on Friday night, getting out of the box strong?
Yeah, it was huge, especially at the beginning of a big season, rookie season with the World of Outlaws. It's just, like you said, you can have all the components, you can have all the pieces, and everything can look really good, and it could look like you're winning races, but sometimes it just still doesn't work out, and you just still can't find that chemistry. But luckily, I think we've really been able to find that kind of right out of the box, and it's definitely it definitely gives you a little bit of a sigh of relief to know that you have speed, that we have the speed to win races. And myself and Joe Gertie, I just feel like we're working really good together, and he's just such a good guy. And like I said in my interview the other night on Friday night, he's my hero. I'm just lucky to be able to be out here racing with him, and with Kyle being our owner, and Paul Silva, our team manager. We got Keith and Trey, both, working really hard on a race car. I just think that we have a really good group of guys.
For sure. Carson, Silver Dollar Speedway is a tricky place to run. I know it's your home track. You're used to it. You mentioned that, you almost feel it might have been a slight advantage to you. But talk about the race and how important it is to run that line and to, as rough as the track was, just talk about how it worked to your advantage.
Yeah, I think it's just like anywhere you go, if you're a local or you've raced that place a lot in the past, it helps a little bit. It's just like when you go to Pennsylvania or Ohio and you race against guys that have raced against, race those places, pretty often. They seem like they have that little bit of an advantage. They know where to be. They know where the track's going to change. And I feel like Silver Dollar has similar characteristics almost every time I've been, especially lately. It seems like a good split, through the center and on the bottom, and even actually in that race, the bottom was still good enough to where if you had to go down there and pass the car, especially in 1 and 2, I felt like you could. So I felt like the racetrack was really good in that aspect. But in order for the top, in order for the bottom to keep up, the top has to be a little bit rough and technical, and I think it definitely was. I felt like the higher I could enter without falling off the racetrack, kind of drive back across the rut and get a run off the corner, especially in turns 1 and 2, I felt like that was, the biggest advantage, Friday night. And I think that was a big reason why I could get a run on people and slide them into the next corner. Or even if, the biggest thing there that is if you slide across and hit the ruts going the wrong way, they kind of get you pointed the wrong direction off the exit of the corner. So it's just like anything else, if you go to a racetrack you've been to a lot, the characteristics, I feel like it helps a ton.
Your breakdown of that's fascinating to me. It really is. The number of steps in a turn. It just absolutely amazes me, Carson. And I think that's why, because you are analyzing the racetrack and analyzing that along the way. I kind of want to go in a little bit different direction. You had to cowboy up both nights, okay? I know you're trying to hit the ruts in the right direction, but that doesn't always happen. And in Stockton, you had some ruts as well. Does your body, after a couple of races like that, do you have some aches and pains when you get up on Sunday morning?
I really don't. I never really. I'm pretty frequent in the gym, and I, younger guy, so I don't really get as much aches and pains. And I will say, I'm the first to say that I don't know that it has anything to do with. Don't get me wrong. I think it helps being 22 and staying in shape, but I think it has a lot to do with our seats nowadays. I run a 5-work seat. Joe Hoffman at 5-works I've been running one of those seats now for the past 5-6 years, and I think it has a lot to do with it. They're the nicest seat, in my opinion, on the market, and even the Butler builds or some of the other brands. I think the biggest difference that we have nowadays that is different from in the past is we all run 4-in, or I run a Dave Sharpley molded insert that's literally molded to me, and every single one of them is exactly the same. So the insert fits so good, and the ratchet belts we have now and everything else, I just don't feel like you get that beat up anymore. I know when I was running micros coming up through the sport, I ran an Ultra Shield seat that was not, it was just a seat that was, it wasn't, fitted to me. Had it been fitted to me, it might have been different, but it was just a generic 5x size seat. And I would slide around in it a little bit, and the bolts, the bolts are sticking out a little, so they kind of dig into your back, or so it's just a lot different. You don't have any of that anymore. I think even though it was super rough, Stock Saturday night was probably one of the roughest tracks I've ever raced on. I woke up the next morning, I didn't feel sore at all. So I think that says a lot about our seats, and Dave Sharpley and all these guys that are working really hard to make us comfortable, and it's a huge advantage when you're comfortable in the car. You drive a lot harder, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a really solid point about the seats. They've come certainly a long way. I remember I used to have a permanent bruise on my back where one of the bolts would always stick into me. Carson, is there a little bit of a sense of relief? I know it only took you 6 races, but it seemed like last year, at least for me, it looked like your breakout season. You signed with Kyle Larson Racing. It's one of the best teams out there. Is there a little sense of relief? Or you got the first win, now we can really get into the swing of things?
Yeah, I think it's always good to get that first one out of the way. You don't want to be. You get a little nervous if you were quite a way through the season and hadn't picked up a win yet. And I just think that I don't think that it'll change anything for us. In my original plan when I set out this year, I'm not worried about points by any means, and and Kyle doesn't want me to be worried about points. We're literally just there to win as many races as we can and run every lap like it's our last and get better as a team night in and night out. Because don't get me wrong, it would be awesome to win the championship, but it's just the rookie season. We really want to get our team meshing. We want to get everybody together on the same page and be our best us every night. And if we can keep doing that and keep getting better night in and night out, I think eventually maybe that could be the goal, but for now, we're just going to give it our best every night. And at the end of the night, if we do our best, wherever the cards fall, that's just what it's going to be.
Your best every night's been pretty good so far. That is for sure. Carson, congratulations on that win. We wish you the best this weekend at Ocean and Placerville. And on throughout the season, I'm fairly confident we'll talk to you. But thanks for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure.
There we go. That is Carson Macedo. That kid breaks things down that kid breaks things down. That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. Not only the turn, but then the seat and everything like that. Yeah. And I'm just a dumb radio guy, but everything he said makes sense to me. You're a racer. You've had the seats, you've had it, but he's able to break it down in English.
Yeah.
Gosh, I really respect that, and I've noticed it about him, but I don't notice it any more than that interview. That's he took a couple of topics there and made it so simple that even I could figure it out. I mean,
Yeah.
man, I love
And he's
Tom.
so young and so well spoken.
Oh my God, you imagine being 22 years old with that talent, that skill, handsome young man, everything. Oh my gosh, I mean, and he can talk good.
Yeah, he's got it all going
he
for
talks
him.
good. Yeah, so
Even
great.
Postman can understand him.
Yeah, even I can understand. I appreciate Carson taking some time out. Always good to chat with our winning drivers, and we really appreciate it. Let's step away. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Since the dawn of American industry, Dryden was there as the country built its first roads, laid the blocks of its factories, and spanned rivers with new bridges and rails. Today, with Dryden's all technology, we instill this heritage into every Dryden oil, lubricant, fluid, and DEF product we make. Dryden is a tradition of performance with 21st century technology. Dryden, official motor oil of the world of Outlaws, and always American-owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery. Located in Greater Pittsburgh, Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
10 tours, over 200 nights of racing. The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 28th year. Whether you're enjoying the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series National Tour at Williams Grove, Eagle Raceway, Skagit Speedway, or any of the 9 ASCS regional tours across Arizona, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and beyond, winged and even non-winged, there's a race happening near you. Check online for schedule details at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when you can't be there live, catch the National Tour and select regional events on RacingBoys.com.
O'Reilly. Improve visibility in your vehicle when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Trico Titan wiper blades. Plus, you'll get a $15 O'Reilly gift card. Don't risk your safety because of poor visibility. Get premium blades at guaranteed low prices. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Danny Dietrich, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post. We're just having a ball, folks. We love talking to our guys, and really, really neat. One of the things we always like to talk about as well is the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, the birthday calendar. Yesterday, Andy Granatelli. Coming up on Saturday, a big one. A big one. Yes, exactly. This
National
one right over
holiday.
here. This one right over here. Yeah, she's having a birthday on Saturday. So happy birthday in advance.
Thank you.
Big
I celebrate all month long.
Well, yeah, it is a month-long celebration, exactly. Russ Clendenin, that is, on Sunday. But tomorrow would have been the birthday of Bob Trossel, 1993 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, a guy that started off in jalopies, went to drag racing, and then settled into sprint car racing. And for 45 years, he built and owned sprint cars, over 300 wins, 2 Knoxville National Championships. Guys like Shane Carson, Doug Wolfgang, Tim Green, Jan Opperman, and so many more drove for him. Mm-hmm. Bob Trossel, that is sprint car racing.
That is. What a neat character I had the honor of getting to know fairly well. And I mean, just a wealth of knowledge. Didn't forget anything, could tell you setups he ran at certain tracks for years. So if you're ever in Knoxville, go check out. There's a Bob Trossel garage in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, and it's a really neat place.
Yeah, because what they've done is they've restored the garage to look like what it was back in the day.
Yep.
In the corner back there, we actually did an autograph signing in Trossel's garage.
That's where they do them during the Hall of Fame or the Nationals.
I was like, who's this clod sitting in Trossel's garage here doing an autograph session with 2 good-looking young ladies, you know? But yeah, Trossel's garage, that is part of the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. And we love that we get the chance to talk about the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Bob's birthday would have been tomorrow. We lost Bob back in 2015. Mm-hmm. But that's part of the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, Trossel's Garage, and then all of the stories in that building. Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you what, that place is heaven on earth. It really is. Oh, my gosh. If you like sprint car racing, you've got to get to Knoxville, and you've got to hang out at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
They just announced the new Salute to Champions for the year.
Yes. How about that? AJ Foyt.
They got some cool cars coming.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. You know what? We have to have Kreger start to work on this. Maybe AJ will come to the Nationals. And maybe we can get AJ on stage with us.
Oh, gosh.
Get him up there
with
on
Selzy
Saturday with Selzy and Tony Stewart. AJ, Selzy, and Tony Stewart. We may have a battle royale breakout. Watch AJ kick both their butts on stage, you know? I mean, because he probably still can do that.
For sure.
Yeah, so, but yeah, AJ Foyt, the new salute, that is going to be fantastic. So, yeah, SprintCarHallOfFame.com. Reminder, National Sprint Car Day is coming up on April 10th. Woo, we got a bunch of, I can't wait. In fact, we'll probably start talking about it later this week. We got a bunch of our friends that are going to do some neat things. And we've got some other people that said, hey, I want to do something. And maybe we'll start generating some stuff with some of our teams and some of our drivers. One of the things we're excited about here at Motor Racing Network as well is it is STP Week. That's right. We do STP Week when it's time to go to Martinsville because we love going to Martinsville. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. I am telling you, that is NASCAR racing so good up there that even the most diehard sprint car fan would love it.
Yeah.
And I'm not busting. I mean, I understand NASCAR racing is different than sprint car racing. Yeah. But I am telling you, Martinsville, it doesn't get any better racing than we do at Martinsville.
Agreed.
It's the STP 500. Richard Petty will have that STP car there.
Get yourself a hot dog.
Martinsville hot dogs, STP week. Are you kidding me? It is epic. So we love this week because we celebrate. And to me, it's my favorite NASCAR track to go to. Yeah. And we do it twice a year. And when it's STP week here, I know I'm getting ready to see some great short track racing that weekend. So cool stuff along the way. Coming up on Thursday on our Wing Nation Weekend podcast, Stuart Brubaker joins us previewing Attica that starts on Friday night. Man, I love Attica and can't wait to see what happens there. Stuart's the reigning champ there. And coming up on Saturday, Erin, I was in High Cotton out in California, hung out with Brent Kading.
Oh, boy.
And yes, we're going to have that on Saturday morning, Wing Nation by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, the Hall of Famer, Brent Kading. Thanks to Danny Dietrich and Carson Macedo for joining us. More important than all of that, though, thank you for joining us here today.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on MAV TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.